The trade war begins.
I won't sugarcoat it. This is going to be tough.
How Canada is hitting back, and the BC budget designed to take on Trump's tariffs.
We will be prepared for whatever comes next.
Plus, deadly gunfire.
It's just too dangerous. You just don't know where you're going to be when a shooting happens.
What investigators are revealing. And the vehicle caught on camera fleeing the scene. And sophisticated scam.
When they said, "Did you call us this morning?" and I said, absolutely not.
The familiar face almost fooled by a fraudster, and how voice cloning played a part.
You're watching Global BC. This is Global News at 5.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We begin today with the BC budget tabled as Donald Trump's threatened tariffs are now officially a reality. Richard Zussman joins us with more on Budget Day and how uncertainty over Trump's tariffs have impacted the fiscal plan here. Richard.
That word uncertainty is something we've been using a lot, Sophie, and it was baked right into the budget. You could even see it at times. Finance Minister Brenda Bailey was rewriting her speech on the fly. On the paper, it said tariffs may come. In reality, the tariffs are already here. The budget that Bailey put in place is one that largely attempts to protect the services in this province, especially healthcare and education, that saw big boosts in spending. But ultimately, the tariffs are having a financial impact. We don't know how long they are going to last here in Canada, but we know that the budget is planning for them to be here for the long haul. So let's focus in on some of those big budget numbers that were presented by the finance minister. The province has tabled a record-breaking deficit of $10.9 billion. Also providing some additional details on the impacts of tariffs. And this is improved from what we've seen in the past, but still, if the tariffs remain in place for 4 years, 45,000 jobs could disappear from the economy in this province. And if the tariffs remain in place over 1 year, provincial revenues could drop $1.4 billion. So obviously, if this is the outcome, the province needs to plan. They've built in some contingencies, but still there are challenges ahead.
We do expect, very strongly expect, that the federal government will use the tariff money generated from counter tariffs to support people and businesses, and our job will be to fill in the gaps.
We're actually quite disappointed with this particular budget. I mean, some of the tariff response discussion has been excellent, but the word manufacturing is hardly in this budget at all.
Richard, with so much financial pressure on the horizon, what sort of measures is the province putting in place to deal with the cost of living?
Yeah, there's one big one here, Sophie, a $110 rebate for all ICBC policyholders. So if you held an ICBC policy car insurance in the last year, in April you will receive $110. But there wasn't much beyond that, and businesses were frustrated by it. Ultimately, the province says, as you heard from Minister Bailey there, that the federal government needs to be the one providing the financial support to industries hardest hit, and they will attempt to fill in the gaps. The way they will do that, they've earmarked $4 billion in this budget for contingencies, and that could be used hypothetically for tariff relief if the province believes it's needed.
All right, thanks for that, Richard Zussman, live at the legislature. Now, more on the tariffs themselves and the federal government's response. A clearly angry Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called Donald Trump's decision a very dumb thing to do and vowed Canada would not back down. Andrea McPherson reports.
Canadian politicians reacting with frustration and anger as Canada and Mexico have now been officially slapped with 25% tariffs from the Trump administration.
Today, the United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally, their closest friend. At the same time, they're talking about working positively with Russia, appeasing Vladimir Putin, a lying, murderous dictator. Make that make sense.
Retaliatory measures are coming. Trudeau says Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time.
We stepped up. We engaged closely and constructively with the President and his administration. We did everything we promised. We stuck to our word. And we did it because we believe in working together to protect our citizens.
The PM also admits this is going to be tough for Canada, as he's expected to speak with Trump in the coming days. Canada's opposition leader also talking tough.
At 12:01 a.m., President Trump stabbed America's best friend in the back. My message to the President is this: Canada will fight back. We will defend our people and our economy, and we will put Canada first.
But the threats continue from Trump today, responding on social media, mocking the PM as a governor once again, saying, please explain to Governor Trudeau of Canada that when he puts on a retaliatory tariff on the U.S., our reciprocal tariff will immediately increase by a like amount. Canadian energy will be tariffed at 10%. Aluminum and steel is expected to be tariffed on March 12th. And there's also plans to triple the existing tariffs on Canadian softwood lumber. And many supply chain experts also agree that one of the immediate effects of this trade war will be higher prices for Canadians. Andrea McPherson, Global News.
When we're under attack, what do?
Just hours after the tariffs went into effect today, dozens of people protested outside the U.S. consulate in downtown Vancouver. The rally calling on Canadians and Americans to join forces at U.S. embassies across the country to protest the tariffs and the 51st state rhetoric. The group behind today's rally, called Toque Off, is planning for weekly demonstrations from here on out. Well, there are concerns the tariffs will have a severe negative impact on BC's forestry sector. The U.S. Department of Commerce has made the preliminary decision to increase anti-dumping duties on Canadian softwood lumber to 20.07%. Nearly tripled the current rate. That's in addition to the 25% tariff threat on wood exports. And news from the White House shows there could be even more action to try to stop forest products from entering the U.S. market. Lumber experts in BC say costs will go up.
The U.S. Themselves, they supply about 70% of their demand, and that remaining 30% is being imported, and the vast majority of that is coming from Canada. And so, it's going to make our products more expensive.
The bottom line is that our products that were very high priced in December are going to be even more high priced now. And we're worried that our customers are going to substitute for other products.
The implementation of the anti-dumping duties could come later this summer. In the meantime, Premier David Eby says he will do his part to try to end this trade dispute. Well, Trump's tariffs and the retaliatory response have markets reeling, with stocks, currencies, oil, and Bitcoin all taking significant hits. With more, let's bring in financial analyst Michael Campbell. Mike, we knew the deadline was coming, but it's real now, and it's been a day.
It really has. The last couple of days when President Trump announced he was going to go through with it Monday, obviously did go through with it today. But also, so keep in mind, this comes at a time of other uncertainties, whether we're talking geopolitical risk. What about the relationship with NATO and other allies there, the trading relationships all over the world? So you get the impact of these tariffs in this level of uncertainty gets even more pronounced. And I'll just show you, as you mentioned, I mean, the TSX in the last couple of days is down 2.19%, Dow Jones 3.1%. And here's the thing, that gives back all of the gains since President Trump was elected. The S&P 500 down 1.68%. You know, gold is a safe haven. It's the only thing that sort of bounced its way up. And we had the Canadian dollar at times trading below 68 cents today, or more in that mid 68 cent range. So again, that puts pressure on every consumer when we're purchasing U.S. goods without the retaliatory tariffs.
It seems like uncertainty might be the word of the year, and it's only February. Mike, many people thought these tariff threats were just a negotiating tactic by the president, but now a good case can be made. It is much more than that.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. I mean, word out of the White House today. Also, one side they're saying, hey, we'll put more tariffs on lumber, for example. Excuse me. On the other side, they're saying, well, maybe we'll have a revisit as soon as tomorrow. So who the heck knows? But here's the thing's going to happen now. U.S. consumers and businesses are going to find out that Trump's tariffs increase the cost to them. And I think that's key. When that pressure starts arriving, you know, domestically onto the administration, maybe they'll get a cause to rethink. But look at this, higher prices, 10% tariffs on Canadian oil. Well, guess what? Your gasoline prices are going up. U.S. car prices up, estimated $8,000 to $9,000, you know, SUV and pickup trucks. But back to the gas, they're looking at a 20 to 40% per gallon increase in New England and the Northeast states. Things like Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. They are not going to be popular, by the way. And then we had the presidents of Best Buy, president of Target, warn that prices are going to go up in the very near future. Why? Because of the tariffs on Chinese goods, in some cases, Mexican fruits and vegetables and others. Bottom line, U.S. consumers are about to pay more. That could be the best thing happening for Canada in terms of pressure on the U.S. administration.
All right, thanks for that, Mike. Well, despite Trump's threats to hit back against Canada's retaliatory tariffs, there are hints he may back off somewhat. His Commerce Secretary saying there could be an announcement tomorrow about meeting in the middle. Tonight, though, the U.S. president will address Congress, and it's expected the trade war will be a key focus.
This morning, trade tensions ramping up with China announcing retaliatory tariffs on some U.S. food imports. Canada vowing similar steps in response to new U.S. tariffs that took effect overnight, including a blanket 25% tariff on all imported goods from Canada and Mexico and an additional 10% on Chinese imports.
What they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs.
American companies now bracing to eat added costs or pass them along to consumers. This Michigan auto parts producer imports 30% of its materials from Canada.
It means dramatically increased costs that we might not be able to recover.
At the same time, President Trump pausing military aid to Ukraine, according to two U.S. officials. After a public clash, the president asked what it would take to restart negotiations with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky toward a peace deal with Russia.
I just think he should be more appreciative because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin.
Democrats urging swift action.
Without our assistance, this gets very, very hard for the Ukrainians. And by the way, it gets easy for Russia. This is what Russia wants.
Democratic lawmakers also inviting fired federal workers to President Trump's address to Congress tonight. Erin Rehill lost her job with the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency after her boss assured her she was safe.
We have justified why you're vital to the organization.
She wants to put a face to the nation's federal workforce.
When you work for this country, you feel a pride in the work that you do.
As President Trump prepares to defend his vision for the country. In a new interview, Vice President Vance said President Trump will focus tonight on successes in his first week in office. There are also key challenges to address, including rising inflation and a government shutdown deadline looming next week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up, a targeted shooting in Surrey. The suspect vehicle seen speeding from the crime scene and what investigators are revealing about the victim. Plus,
And it took me about 2 minutes to go, wait, there's something wrong here.
an intricate scam that almost cost him thousands. Next.
Pretty steady flow of traffic across the Patello Bridge for our Tuesday night commute. This is the alternate to the Alex Fraser Bridge. There was a heavy police incident on the bridge deck, mainly affecting northbound traffic. Good news, that has resolved. It'll take a while for the volume to go away, though. Today's Lotto Max jackpot, an estimated $20 million. Lotto Max, dream to the max. In the Global Traffic Center, I'm Brad Russell.
Thursday.
Zip ties, rope, blood. He's a damn serial killer. And it looks like he took Maddie with him.
The 911 two-part return begins Thursday at 8 Eastern on Global. Stream on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
Don't you have a murder to investigate or something?
Funny you should say that.
Elsbeth, all new Thursday at 10 Eastern on Global.
We know that your family needs you just as much as you need them. That's why at Weber Naturals, we know it's important to take omega-3 daily to help support your heart and mind so that you can keep supporting them. Look for the purple cap for your heart and health solutions.
Think of all the stories that have started right here. Honeymoons. Long overdue honeymoon.
Office now.
We're learning more today about a targeted fatal shooting in Surrey last night. It happened around 5:30. Officers responded to a shots fired call at the Scott Road Crossing shopping plaza near 80th Avenue. The victim, now identified as 29-year-old Jaskaran Singh Minhas, died at the scene. IHIT says he was known to them and was believed to have had connections to organized crime. A red car was seen speeding away from the scene. Investigators now confirm a red vehicle found torched in Delta a short time later was connected to the shooting.
This incident is deeply concerning. It is a targeted, brazen shooting when it was still light out. Obviously, this is a really busy place, and it has the hallmarks of, what would be described as an organized, targeted shooting.
Police are looking for at least 2 suspects. They're also seeking further witnesses and video. It's another example of how scams can happen to anyone, as one of our own Global BC contributors was almost taken. Financial analyst Michael Campbell sharing his shocking story with us. It began when he was contacted by a person who claimed to be from Amazon, inquiring about suspicious purchases. The next call was from a person claiming to be with his bank, who was investigating a bank employee. $10,000 then appeared in Campbell's account, and he was told to e-transfer that amount to the alleged fraudster so they could be identified. It's believed Campbell's voice was cloned in an earlier call to the bank.
If you consider that artificial intelligence can absolutely sweep the internet and find out so much about you, and we willingly post it. I mean, I have a Twitter account, so personal information is up there.
The advice is to also listen to your gut instinct. If you're not sure, talk to someone, talk to the Better Business Bureau, talk to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, and we can help you really make an informed decision.
The Competition Bureau of Canada notes Canadians lost more than $638 million to fraud in 2024, and only 5 to 10% of losses are ever actually reported. Coming up on The Move, the newcomers calling Penticton home, and the province a quarter of them are coming from. Plus,
Our job is to be alert at all times.
What's known about a mysterious and deadly illness spreading in the Congo?
He's still amazed at what he sees.
It's brilliant. Completely different worlds.
George Clark's Amazing Spaces. All new Sunday at 9 on Home Network. Stream on Stack TV and the Global TV app.
This fly has been following me for 3 days. I'm not joking. I swear it's the same one.
Survivor, all new Wednesday at 8 Eastern on Global.
Welcome to my kitchen, where every day is pizza day. Mozzarella from Quebec and crispy, airy crust. The perfect family pizza made to share. Little Chef, big taste. Giuseppe by Dr. Utker.
Want to save money while making your home more comfortable and energy efficient? Fortis BC's got rebates.
Rebates.
On energy efficient windows and doors, insulation, and more. Visit fortisbc.com/rebates.
Some say John Jameson didn't just create an incredibly smooth whiskey, but the world's largest family. Now, they don't share DNA, but they do share the same warm spirit. A welcoming bunch who don't take themselves too seriously. And while they've never been to Ireland, they share our smooth Irish ways. Must be part of the family. Must be a Jameson.
Get all your cravings delivered to your door with Skip.
Heads up, people. We are all part of this climate change dilemma. The typical home in Greater Vancouver is still burning a fossil fuel for its heat and hot water, but it doesn't have to. We have amazing equipment that will get you thousands in government rebates and make your home part of the solution. VancouverHeatPumps.ca.
The math on nurse-to-patient ratios is simple. By adding more nurses to the equation, we increase time spent with each patient, which reduces mortality rates across the board. Learn more at ratiosavelives.ca. Message brought to you by the BC Nurses Union.
Canceled flight? We've got you covered. Lost luggage? We've got you covered. Unfortunate mishap? We've got you covered. Stuff happens, even when you're on vacation. So be sure to include travel insurance from Johnston Meyer. With 44 locations in BC, we've got you covered.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Fortis BC. We've got rebates. On high-efficiency windows, doors, and insulation. Find them at fortisbc.com/rebates.
The number of people moving to Penticton from Alberta is rising, according to the city's latest data. That group made up 25% of newcomers who decided to call Penticton their new home in 2024. Nearly half of Albertans who made the move are retired. 36% said they moved to Penticton for a job. People moving from Metro Vancouver still make up the largest group of new Penticton residents at 30%. And why not? It's a lovely city. Christy Gordon joins us now with a look at our weather forecast. Christy?
Sure is lovely compared to what we're seeing here across the south coast right now, Sophie. So the rain picked up this afternoon and we'll continue to see it this evening. You can certainly see the back end of this frontal system with still a little bit of instability, so just a chance of showers expected overnight. But it also has been windy, so we've seen wind gusts close to 60 kilometers an hour through the Strait of Georgia. These are southerly winds, and those will continue through the evening hours and then settle down overnight. We're also expecting moisture shifting into Penticton and areas in the interior. That will be just rainfall. Higher elevations, though, snow if you're traveling. And as we head into tomorrow morning, the focus of the moisture will be across the Cariboo Central Interior, Columbia region and East Kootenay region, whereas a clearing trend is on the way for areas further west. I'm keeping in a very slight chance of showers across the south coast, particularly the west coast of Vancouver Island tomorrow morning, but otherwise a clearing trend is certainly on the way, and that will be the case for those of you in the interior. And Thursday's looking phenomenal, by the way. It looks like we'll see mainly sunny skies in most of the province. In In the meantime, we do have a chance of showers across these areas. Caribou Central Interior flurries through the overnight and early morning hours, but it quickly changes to showers for you and a clearing trend on the way for the south coast. So it may take a little bit longer for some areas, but certainly by the afternoon hours, you can anticipate some sunshine, and it looks like we have 2 days of sunny weather on the way before it looks like it could be quite a wet weekend. So back to you.
Thank you, Christy. Just ahead, a mysterious and deadly disease.
You don't know where the next pandemic's going to arise.
What we know about the disturbing illness that's claimed dozens of lives next.
Some volume delays causing a slow go eastbound over the Port Mann Bridge as you make your way into Surrey and through the valley. Once you get past 152nd, you do get your speed back as you make your way to Langley. Cracked windshield? Trust Kermac for your windshield repair or replacement. Book online at kermac.com. When you choose Kermac, you choose to support BC Children's Hospital. Kermac cares for kids. In the Global Traffic Center, I'm Brad Russell.
We know that your family needs you just as much as you need them. That's why at Weber Naturals, we know it's important to take omega-3 daily to help support your heart and mind so that you can keep supporting them. Look for the purple cap for your heart and health solutions.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. Come experience the flame grill difference with our $5 meal deal.
Dad, where does the sun go at night?
Drive any road with an extra set of eyes and navigate any surprises with legendary Forester driver assistance features, so you can explore the world with the ones that mean the world to you. The all-new, fully redesigned 2025 Subaru Forester. Trust the real search engine.
Want to save money while making your home more comfortable and energy efficient? Fortis BC's got rebates. On energy-efficient windows and doors, insulation, and more. Visit fortisbc.com/rebates.
Come say bonjour to Festival du Bois in Coquitlam's Mackin Park from March 7th to 9th. Enjoy amazing music from across Canada, good food, family fun, and so much more. Info at festivaldubois.ca.
Sometimes the truth hurts. Take John here. The truth is, he's ignored a major sign of foundation problems, his jammed door, which he finally opened by putting his back into it. Fortunately, True Level Concrete makes foundation repairs painless with unmatched service and warranty. Get a quote today.
Want better health care? Pierre Poilievre's not the answer. His conservatives will bring in U.S.-style health care with big profits for private corporations and medical debt for families. You deserve better. Conservative cuts will make health care worse. A message from the HEU.
Canada's favorite new show is Matlock. All new Thursday at 9 Eastern on Global.
Put on something plaid and say bonjour to the 36th annual Festival du Bois in Coquitlam. Sample delicious French-Canadian food and hear brilliant Quebecois, Celtic, world, and folk music and dance. The BC Home and Garden Show returns to BC Place. From kitchen and baths to flooring and more, see the latest trends, get expert advice, and find innovative solutions for all your home projects. For Our BC, I'm Safia Pirani.
Want more of the news that matters to you? For in-depth stories and must-see videos, visit globalnews.ca/BC.
World Health Organization is on the ground in the Democratic Republic of Congo, trying to crack the code on a lethal mystery illness. As Catherine Ward reports, more than 50 people have died since January.
The World Health Organization's working hypothesis is that the illness clusters in Congo could be the result of chemical poisoning or rapid onset bacterial meningitis. This has yet to be confirmed. WHO epidemiologists have been supporting medical teams in these highly remote areas of the country where the outbreaks were reported starting in January. One of the biggest concerns with the illness was how quickly some people died, with the average time from symptom onset to death being just 24 hours. Reports say teens and young adults have been disproportionately affected, and the patients skew male. The focus in recent days has been on testing using blood and urine samples, mouth and nasal swabs, and spinal taps. The World Health Organization says more than 1,300 patients displayed symptoms. 53 deaths have been reported, and initial symptoms have tested negative for Ebola and Marburg viruses, and malaria has not been entirely ruled out.
From looking at the epidemic curve, it is slowing down. We have had deaths, the last death reported at the end of February. You don't know where the next pandemic's going to arise, whether it's in a remote place or whether it's in a very big urban setting. We don't know. Our job is to be alert at all times, absolutely everywhere, preparing all the time.
One of the biggest challenges for health officials has been how remote the impacted communities are. The WHO says the regions lack robust healthcare services, and the distance from urban centers has delayed testing. Local public health risk is considered moderate, but the national and global public health risk is low. Catherine Ward, Global News, Toronto.
Promising it'll be big, U.S. President Donald Trump makes his first major address to Congress in about half an hour. We'll have details tonight on the News Hour. And that's it for Global News at 5. Thanks for watching.
That even though you're a very smart guy,